Devastating fire for the owners of a kennel near Canton. Dozens of rescue dogs were killed in the flames. 7 News reporter Chad Charette has what we know tonight.
Kennel staff are calling it an unimaginable tragedy after a fire claimed the lives of 44 dogs at Maple Ridge Kennel early Thursday morning. Around 1 a.m., the Canton Fire Department responded to reports of flames on the property that houses No Dogs Left Behind. The kennel serves as a sanctuary for canines rescued from places like the East Asian dog meat industry and war-torn countries. Despite their best efforts to douse the blaze and additional tankers brought in from Potsdam, Pirates, and Russell Fire, none of the dogs inside were able to be saved. Other dogs belonging to the property owner that were housed elsewhere on the property were unharmed, however. At this time, it's unknown how the fire started, but the St. Lawrence County Fire Investigation Team is working to determine a cause. While the founder wasn't able to go on camera, we were told that he plans to rebuild. If you'd like to lend a helping hand, donations can be made at NoDogsLeftBehind.com. Chad Charette, 7 News.